Namaste. Hi, everyone. I had a question here, so let me go ahead and read this comment. Namaste, Guruji. Thank you for explaining the origins of psychosis from ego and its protection by making one believe in lies. Helps in understanding people in cults clearly now. Could you also help in throwing some light on how Bhakti path of devotion in leading one to realization? Would like to get some clarity, as in this video you explain how one can do a Bhakti path wrong by giving one's power away to a god or chasing realms and powers. When one has that heart expansion, do they continue forth with it or continue to question it as well? Thank you for these sets of videos explaining the inner mechanisms of the path. Om. Well, on the Bhakti path, it's not about questioning. It's a different path from the path that's taught here. On a Bhakti path, it's about being in connection with whether it's Shiva or Krishna or Kali, whichever. Like Ramakrishna was a great Bhakti devotee. If you want to see Bhakti, look up Ramakrishna. Okay, the path of that Prabhupada was teaching, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami, was also a path of Krishna that's taken from the Bhagavad Gita. Okay, so on a Bhakti path, one is supposed to be in absolute devotion and love, and when that heart expansion opens, one is supposed to absolutely lose themselves in that expansion, into the point that eventually they become that which they seek. Okay, they merge, they become so much a part of that, in that opening, that they lose themselves within that persona of Krishna or Shiva or Kali, whatever it is. Okay, that one goes beyond that personalized into that which is even beyond that. So that's usually the path of Bhakti. It's not about questioning it once one gets to that dynamic. Okay, it's about losing oneself in it totally. Okay, in that love and devotion, to where you no longer see yourself, all you see is that divinity. Okay, so that's a path of Bhakti, that one becomes absorbed by that love, absorbed by that dynamic. Okay, I don't speak a lot on it because it's not the path that's taught here, although when one is doing this path, one also comes to a point of that devotional, that opening, that bhakti. Okay, so I hope that helps to answer it. This is very short. I don't have a huge, long explanation on it because, again, this is the path that's taught here is not about pujas. You know, usually Bhakti path, they are doing pujas and that type of thing. Okay, so it's a more of a concentrated, always being in sync, always trying to come into alignment, always trying to lose themselves within that a goddess representation. Okay, but as you see, you had ones like Paramahamsa, the Ramakrishna, the ones like Ramakrishna, that said in the end, even though he tasted non-duality, he went back to reroot into persona because he said he wanted to taste the sugar. He didn't want to be the sugar. So even though he did a bhakti path all of his life, and eventually he did taste that non-duality, he chose to want to have that continued relationship, which took duality to do. Because when one goes into realization, there's not relationship any longer. It changes into something else. One becomes that rather than having relationship in that. Okay. I think it's much easier for people that are on Bhakti path when they have that heart opening into oneness and that bliss takes place, that it's a lot easier at that point to think that one is in realization, because you do come to that point. And like I said, in my own journey, at that point I saw Krishna, and it was Krishna was here and Krishna was in every being, every person that I saw. It was just this dance, this bliss and dance of Shiva. All of the world was this dance, was dance of Krishna. For here it was an identification with Krishna. And so everything that I saw at that point had Krishna within it, dancing. Okay. So it can be very blissful, a big heart opening, and one can come into a great love for that persona. So that's a little bit more on a Bhakti path. I hope this doesn't become more confusing. So I'm leave this here. Namaste. Have a great holiday season.